Chapter 9. The Law of Honor, Integrity, and Abundance. Concept. Talking about honor is tricky. It doesn't take much to come off as a righteous Pratimus Maximus of extreme pomposity and silliness. Here goes, I'll do my best and I'll keep it short. When you separate from your body and look back at your life, nothing will have disappeared. I've been in those worlds via the trance state, and the OBE, the out-of-body experience, and the near-death tube. And what I tell you is correct. Though each one experiences their life's overview slightly differently, you won't want to look at stuff if it is gruesome. If your life has been one of manipulation, inflicting terror, nastiness, rip-offs and so forth, the moment of your spiritual overview is going to be an extremely painful experience, unless of course you change things now. You can metaphysically and spiritually rewrite your history by seeing your mistakes as lessons, understanding that the God force is full of compassion, and realizing that each of us falls into the dark through our weaknesses and fears. In addition, the people who have been affected by any darkness you projected had a metaphysical responsibility. They must have projected or sustained their own negative energy for you to show up. Or at least they must have had options and they didn't take them. Of course, in the case of children who are abused, they don't have options because they're born into negative situations. If darkness has been a part of your life, you can perform a spiritual overview and healing while alive. First, you have to ponder your dark side and agree to let it come out, as it is usually repressed deep within. Then, when you're ready, take yourself off for a couple of days on your own, someplace remote and quiet, stay in silence and fast, meditate and pray. Allow the impact of your acts to come upon you, and once you've looked at that, all you have to do is own it. That is, you will have to see how you were responsible. Owning it is accepting that you inflicted the pain on others, and you have to see how it must have felt for them as they became scared or sad because of your actions. Perhaps you killed them off because they lost hope, or perhaps they died not because you killed them literally, but because you stressed them out so much they passed away from other maladies. You use your 2 or 3 day quiet period to look at your dark side, to process and acknowledge your hatred and antagonisms. You agree to come to an act of contrition and to atone. Contrition and atonement sound serious and biblical. One imagines balls of fire cast down from above while Sodom and Gomorrah burn in the distance. It's not quite like that, because a universal compassion kicks in if you do it right. Contrition is feeling sorry for your stuff-ups and owning them, and atonement is doing something about them. We all have darkness inside of us, so you don't have to feel especially guilty. Yet you can't get to the light without passing through the dark. The idea that you can escape it completely by just being positive is metaphysically unsophisticated. You can certainly avoid it for a bit, building light and energy as you go, but in the end it is always there. You have to tackle it one day. Rudolf Steiner called it the guardian of the threshold. I always imagined the guardian as a monster on your path, who knew all of your weaknesses and could play upon them. It would eat you if you didn't have the courage to face it. Even the most saintly person has a dark side. If they say they don't, they're a saintly person with quite a lot of BS and denial, and that of itself can be dark. Even Jesus had his 40 days in the desert, processing his shadow side, being tempted and so forth. As your energy grows and grows, and as you become more and more light, you have to come to honor and integrity, for the expanding light within you attracts the dark forces that hang around looking for weaknesses, looking for ways to use to their own ends the power you are creating. Now, people usually believe they have no dark side, or that they have already processed it, but that is not often the case. Many have simply repressed their dark side deep within so it's not obvious. Simultaneously with this process, you'll want to be 100% correct in your future dealings with people, so all your future financial dealings must be honorable. You will have to be completely fair and honest and 100% correct with people. Next, you have to have honor in your feelings. That means living in the truth and expressing that truth and not being covert. We are trained as children to use covert ways to get what we want, and so we don't see it as dishonest. But it is. Our world is very dishonest, and our leaders encourage dishonesty by setting bad examples, by lying, by being corrupt, by using a political sleight of hand to sustain power. People come to believe that being dishonest, covert, sneaky and manipulative is normal. It's not. It's very dark. Being on a power trip is also dark. That power may come from your physical strength, or it might be a financial, political, or military power. Sometimes we become experts at wielding sexual and emotional clout, tormenting others with our control over them. Almost all power is abused. That's how we learn. We have to become strong inwardly and outwardly, without misusing the power we have. It's very hard to get it right, and most of us err. Some lust for power. They get off on emotionally or physically capturing others and maneuvering them. Bad karma. We are also taught to lie, exaggerate, and obscure fact. We lie by omission, seeking to sustain one image while living another. To the student on the path, all of these are traps, and they have to be sorted out. For when you lie, it is to yourself. When you cheat, the same. When you manipulate, you create a prison for yourself as well as your victims. In the end, everything you do is to yourself. There's only the oneness, so all acts are self-infliction. Metaphysics. The metaphysics of honor are simple. You can't hide from the truth, so you have to let go. Humble yourself and look at the truth, and fix the bits that are less than best. Each of us has fear, hatred, and antagonism. Each of us cheats emotionally, financially, or sexually. We each have our transgressions. You rewrite your history by looking at that. Perhaps it may result in you suffering a dark night of the soul, but it will pass as you grant yourself forgiveness. Gradually, the power of the infinity within you bathes you in a new light, and you're made whole. In this way you complete your act of contrition. Action. Atonement is the act of making good, so you can go back and pay off, if you can, the people you cheated. You apologize if you have hurt people, or you atone by charitable acts and good works. Perhaps you can't repay those you owe, but you can make a donation to some cause from which they might benefit. Atonement is accepting full responsibility for what you've done without too many explanations and excuses, and realizing that you hurt people because you were trained that way as a child, or perhaps you allowed your fears and weaknesses to lead you astray. Then you vow that you will act lovingly and kindly to others for the rest of your life. You follow through consistently over a period of time, making good the hurt that you have inflicted. I don't think it's enough to just feel sorry and to say sorry. Sometimes you have to do something concrete as well. You can make all the money in the world and you can buy all the experiences possible and live a rich life, but a life without honor and integrity is completely worthless. So as a part of your abundance affirmation and the setting up of a new energy in your life, include the correctness of honor if you've not already done so. Live your life impeccably, on every front, financial, emotional, sexual. And if you exercise power, be benevolent, very benevolent.